English is very common in India. I think they consider it one of their national languages, and most people in India speak 3 or 4 languages, actually, English being one of them. Most, actually, I shouldn't say most, I would say most people of a certain class that live in the cities. If you go into the villages, you'll find very little English speakers, but there's a fairly good amount of people that speak English. That being said, if there were to change and to say that the missionaries could now speak Telugu or Hindi or Tamil, it'd be incredible. We considered it a few times, just a what if as missionaries, and it'd be incredible the amount of people you'd begin to teach, because you do have to be selective in the people that you teach, because you're looking for English speakers, since obviously that's the only way you can communicate with them. So I don't know the exact numbers, but there's a good amount of people that speak English, but it'd be incredible to be able to speak to them in their own languages, because there's a lot of people there in India. For speaking in English, they have a heavy influence of the British influence is strong in India, and so they'll say things like lorry for a truck. I don't know if I ran into a whole lot of other things. They say proper a lot, and from people I know who are British, they also say proper. So it's like you have to do this in a proper way, and so that's how they use that kind of vernacular more. They had the emphasis is on different syllables for them. For instance, for a long time, I had no idea what people were saying when they said "devil up." I hear it a lot in church, actually, over the pulpit. It's like, we need to devil up. We need to devil up. And I didn't know. I was like, we need to devil up? That seems not like a good idea. And then I eventually figured out it's develop. Devil up. Anyway, so there's things like that. Proper is very common. Devil up. I heard that all the time. One thing they say it a lot is just means, like MEANS, means, and that means what does it mean? Or it's just everyone says it. It became almost like an inside joke. We'd all, as missionaries, we'd use your hand like this, and that means you're asking a question. You say means, and obviously they'd know what you're talking about. But that's another thing I should mention is hand motions are actually very helpful. This means you're asking a question, and sometimes you could ask a question, and if you don't do that, no one will. They'll just stare at you and nod and not realize that you're asking them a question, even though it was clearly a question. So you do this. They have a different way of explaining how much something is just with their hands. And this is important to know because you speak to a lot of people that don't know good English well. So this means a little bit, just showing a little bit of your finger. This means a lot. It shows your full arm. This means you have to go to the bathroom, which you see a lot. Someone will leave the room and they'll signify where they're going. And so I guess so we all know. I'm trying to think of. There's a few other. Obviously, the head bobble is a part of the language. It's a communication tool, and it's saying like I understand or okay or I agree with you, and so all the missionaries, you learn that you head bobble a lot. Even as you talk, it's almost like a way that are we all on the same page right now? And head bobbling, and the whole room will be head bobbling, and including the missionaries. And so that means we're all hopefully on the same page right now. So, and other than that, do realize I got there and I thought, okay, this is an English-speaking mission, I'll be okay. And about a week, 2, 3, 4 weeks before I really grasped the English language of India, because it was a little bit difficult I didn't understand most of the things that were going on for the first week, even though it was an English-speaking mission, so I'd be aware of that. The Indian accent, let's see what they would say. Yeah, a lot of little kids will come to you. How are you? How are you? Let's see. I want to try and think of a typical phrase that they would tell us, or that they would say. what is your name? Like, what is your name would be, you hear that all the time, little kids, what is your name? What is your name? Another phrase, just demonstrate some accents, like, hello, brother, how are you? You finished your dinner yet? Things like that. I know that the Book of Mormon is a true book in this whole world, and things like, just a little bit interesting phrases there, things like that. Gosh, I'm trying to think of others. Jackson brother. For some reason, they'll call us not elder, or they'll call you brother, but they say your name after it. So the Jackson brother instead of brother Jackson. Jackson brother, how are you? Have you had your dinner yet, brother? Anyway, so this is one of the things that they would say. They would scold us as missionaries. It's like a playful way of, but it sounds mean, but it's like almost like an endearing. Like if someone's talking to you in this way, then that means they like you. They like being around you. It's like, and this is what I get all the time, is something like, hey, what you are thinking, junk fellow? I'm going to take off one of my chapels. I'll beat you on the head with that one. It's definitely, you are so dumb. Things like that. Are you crap fellow? Are you junk fellow? What you are thinking, missionary? You're not respecting your tag. You are just one junk missionary. And it was like, oh, why are they're always riding on me? And it was really just like, those are my best friends though. They're like, their kids were 20-something years old, and they'd come up to me at church, they'd put my arm around me, and they'd like try and wrestle me and stuff like that. And really, it was just like we're all playing around. So I thought I'd say that because I'm proud of my Indian accent, or at least I used to be, and that was a pretty good depiction of what they say, their phrases and their accent, I thought. So we'll see if my companions, if they saw that, would agree.